That's awesome. Awesome. Well, we are now live in the Facebook. So welcome LabCoatAgents and those of you joining us on Zoom as you come in. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to put them in the chat or the Q&A. I will keep an eye on that as Frank shares all kinds of good knowledge with us today. We are going to talk about this little app that they have created or they're a part of. I'll let him tell us a little bit more about that, but how you can put your listings on TV and you can get buyer presentations, a mobile app with video walkthroughs, and it's all on one simple little platform for you, Mr. and Mrs. Real Estate Agent. But first, folks, usually when we're talking to the NAREP guys, I have Brian Stevens. Today, I got Frank Garay. Frank, welcome to LCA, my friend. Welcome to LCA. That's right. That's right. And it looks like you're sitting in the bar. So I'm glad to see that. Nice green screen backdrop.
Well, you know, it's this is the background on our show most of the time. And so I hit up our editor and I said, hey, man, send me that background. I'll make it consistent, you know?
Awesome. Awesome.
Not that we're drinkers. In fact, I haven't had a drop of booze in over 4.5 years.
Wow. Good for you, man. Good for you. It's been less than 12 hours for me.
Excellent job. Great work.
Yes. So Frank, tell us, we're talking about this little platform called Listing Booster and how it can boost one's business.
Yeah.
Why don't you first give us the background on the platform, and then let's get into what it does today.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I think what Booster's designed to do is designed to, as real estate agents, and I am an agent now, just so full disclosure, right? But as real estate agents, we bust our butts to get listings. And I find it incredibly unfair that I busted my butt to get a listing, which finds its way into Zillow and Realtor.com, who they then proceed to make, I don't even know how much money off of my listing by selling, the leads that they generate off my listing to other agents, right? And, I find it unfair. Personally, I don't know what you feel about this, Jeff, but I feel like Zillow should have to compensate the listing agent on every lead that was sold off of their listing. I think that's fair. Zillow didn't go out and bust their ass to get it. Zillow wasn't there in the evening or on the Zoom or explaining the listing agreement or all that, they didn't do anything. Yet they reap all the benefit from my listing. And so what Listing Booster is designed to do is kind of like take ownership of your listing back, right? Sure, it's still going to go to Zillow. And we even have a way that I'll show you guys that we take advantage of the Zillow eyeballs with Listing Booster lead capture, which means I actually circumvent Zillow a little bit and capture leads off of Zillow straight to me, bypassing the premier agents that are paying for the leads, right? Ooh. So it's kind of what Listing Booster is for. It's really for the agents to have a mechanism or tool, especially agents that get listings. It works if you don't have listings as well. There's another thing you can do in there that you can generate leads from. Maybe you could work with the other listings in your office or other agent friends you have, no problem. You can do that in Booster. But really, if you're an agent that gets listings and has listings, it allows you to take advantage of your own listings to generate, business back to yourself off of your own listings. If you're an individual agent, that's just more money in your pocket. If you're a team, it keeps that lead gen in your own ecosystem, right? It keeps it with your team. If you're an office, it keeps that, into your office. So that's really what it was designed to do. And that's what it does. And, for the longest time, we sold it like similar to other products. A loan officer pays for it, right? And then a real estate agent gets invited in, okay? And that's how it works. But lately, we've made a lot of changes to the way Booster can be, accessed and used. And we definitely wanted to be able to just make it available to individual agents or real estate teams and real estate offices, because it's really inexpensive and there's a lot of benefit, obviously, to it if you use it. It has
like everything.
Yeah, like anything. But we've got a nice system where we flat out say when you get it, like, hey, either you got to get trained on how to work it, or your assistant needs to get trained, or your team, whoever helps your team with marketing or your office with marketing, they need to get trained on how to do it. The actual implementation of it is super easy. It's just click, a couple of clicks a day and you're done. There's nothing to it. But it's always best to have somebody who's really in charge of that, like making sure that stuff gets done every day. And if you do, it produces great results, really, really good. And so we have weekly training every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time that anybody can register for and learn how to do everything. Takes
every week.
Yeah, every Tuesday,
Awesome.
every week.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, with all of that said, why don't you dive in and show us what it's all about? I mean, I was about ready to ask you the history of it, but I feel like I think if you're here today, you just want to know what the nuts and the bolts are.
Yeah, we don't really. Let me try and shrink this down so I can get to it. The Zoom thing is being weird to me. Okay, here we go. All right. So, I mean, this is the product in itself. And, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to do a brief overview of kind of the highlighted parts of it that I think you'll be most interested in. So, what it does, and then I'll tell you, why it's a good idea to use it. And then if you want to participate, the different ways you can participate and how to get that going. So, right off.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. So right off the bat on the homepage, a couple things I want to point out is we have, great support. We have this chat box. You don't even have to be logged in, right? And if we're in there working the chat, it's a chat. If we're not, it's a email thing. And if you need help at all with anything at all, I know how frustrating that can be. Everybody knows that. You just want to talk to somebody. Of course, we have training videos. Of course, we have FAQs. We got all that stuff. But if you're like, I don't want to do any of that, I just want somebody to talk to, right? No problem. You got it right here. It's always available. If you start a chat and we don't answer you fast enough and you got to go, don't worry, a support ticket is started. And if it's an email, it automatically is a support ticket. With that in mind, somebody is going to be calling you from Listing Booster to try and help you. So on your phone, if you start seeing a weird number come through, like an 855 or a 707 number, keep in mind, you asked for help. We're trying to give it to you. That's probably us, The other thing is when I said that there's training on how to use it, we have it every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's super easy to register for it yourself or to register your assistant who's going to be doing this for you. You simply click on the agent training button and fill in the contact information here, hit go, and you're done. So that's super, super easy. So just want to make sure that you're aware of that. Now, we titled this thing and we opened it up with, getting your listings on TV. So I'm gonna open with that, Jeff. What do you think? I'm just gonna.
Let's do it. I mean, everybody wants to. When we're growing up, we all want to be on TV.
We all want to be on TV. So I'm just gonna scroll. I'm just scrolling down the homepage here, and like the first 4 items, this item, this item, this item, and this item. The reason we have these 4 items featured first on the homepage is these are actually things that there just isn't another product that offers them. So we wanted to make sure that we let you guys know, hey, there's these things here that can be real helpful for you that just no other product has. So, but I will scroll down to the last one here, and I'm going to start with get your listings featured on TV. So what this is this. At Listing Booster, we created a product, and it's the only one of its kind. It's the only one in the world that I'm aware of. And it is a property search channel on smart TVs and streaming devices. So I think everybody's probably familiar with Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. This is Roku right here. But these streaming devices are insanely popular. The trend these days is something that's called cord cutting, where people are like, screw cable, screw satellites. I'm just going to get one of these streaming devices because I can literally get anything I want on these streaming devices and just have internet to connect it to, and I'm good to go. Well, what happens in Listing Booster is if you're a Listing Booster real estate agent, all of your listings make it to this TV channel. Okay, how many people have downloaded this channel? I'm not really sure, but I don't know. I got to imagine we're approaching 1 million. And it's been around for about 5 or 6 years. We've been continually improving it. And I just have some screenshots here, and I won't waste too much time on it. But the good news is not only do all your listings make it to this channel, but they go to the front of the property search and they become featured listings on the channel. The neat thing about the channel too is our average stay time by a consumer is 90 minutes. So when they get there and they start searching for properties, and understand this is a property search. It's not like you go to a TV channel and videos just start playing of listings somewhere. No, those are horrible. This is actually, you go in, you pick your city, you go into your city and you start searching properties. You can filter by bedrooms, baths, it's like a property search, but it's on your TV. And the other cool thing is iHeartRadio caught wind of us, and because they have an app inside Roku and all these streaming devices, and they said, man, that is so cool. And we got to talking to him. We said, well, let's put you on our channel. So they're on the channel. So what winds up happening is, people can pick their favorite music while they're surfing for properties on the channel. And I think that's why that stay time of 90 minutes is there. So here's the benefit to it, right? The real benefit is, I'm not going to say that the benefit is, oh, you're going to get all these deals off the TV. That's not the case, right? Although you may. If you're a listing booster real estate agent, all of your listings in the TV channel, all of your contact is on them. So your contact information is on them. So if somebody does want to reach out from the TV, they're reaching directly to you, the listing agent, right? It's not going anywhere else but straight to you. But the most important thing I think about it is, if you ask me, is just the fact that, when you're on a listing presentation, right? If that happens, and it does happen, I'm a very part-time real estate agent. I am not trying to set the world on fire. Both me and my wife, just family, friends, that kind of a thing. But over the past year, we did take about a half a dozen listings. 4 of those listings, Jeff, I did not have to present anything. They were family or friends. You know what I mean? And it was like, sure, whatever. Where do I sign? It was easy. But 2 of those listings, they told me, yeah, I'm going to be talking to another couple of agents, but I'd like to see what you got to offer. I know you. I know you're doing this now. Show me what you got. Right. So when you're in that situation where you're, potentially taking a listing and you're showing the goods. I know everybody's got some sort of presentation that they give, showing people, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this and that and that. Well, in Listing Booster, we have a listing presentation right here on the dashboard. And you don't have to use this, although me being the part-time guy, this is all I used, right? It worked for me. I got both those other listings, but the 3rd page in here, basically says, if you list with me, I'm going to get your home on TV. And it just, if you're going to be in a competitive situation, you and maybe 1 or 2 other offices or teams, to try and get a listing, if they flat out told you that, just the simplest way to look at it is would you rather be the agent that says, oh, we're going to get your home on TV, or the agent that can't say that, and I'm not going to say that this is what got me those 2 listings where I had to present, but I can tell you when I touched base on this part of it, they were exceedingly intrigued by it. In fact, one of them was a gal, and she was like, oh my God, and this is true story. This is pre-COVID, in her house, going through this presentation on my laptop with her. And she goes, oh, I got a Roku. She had a Roku TV. I said, oh, well, we could add the channel right now. So we turned it on, went in there, added the channel. And I started flipping around and showing her, yeah, so your listing's going to be here. And she's like, really? My listing's going to the TV? On the TV? I go, yeah. On Roku? I go, yeah, it's going to be there. I got the listing. And it takes about 48 hours, for the time the listing hits the MLS to make it to the TV channel, because it's got to go through syndication stuff or whatever. And boy, in those 48 hours, she called me like 5 times, like, it's not there. It's not there. It's not there. It's not. And then finally it showed up. She was like super stoked that her property was on the TV. So, that's really kind of the cool thing about it. The other thing is like, if you don't want to use the Listing Booster presentation, which is perfectly understandable, like everybody's worked hard on their own presentations. Well, what you can do is in marketing tools on the dashboard, there's the presentation, but in the form of a PowerPoint here. So you could just download that PowerPoint and just take, the pieces out of the Listing Booster presentation that you feel would be useful for your existing one, take them out of ours and put them into yours. Mm-hmm. So obviously one of those things I think would be the,
let's touch on that for a second, Frank, because I'd like to get the opinion of those of you listening. And that is because we hear this all the time. You and I, we both go to a lot of conferences. We hear from a lot of badass speakers talking about this sort of thing. And the name of the game is differentiation. And so you've got a multitude of ways to do that, video being one of them. But a lot of people just don't want to do video. They're scared to death of it. Sure. And when you go into your listing presentation, let's just say, you're going to sit down like every other agent and say, here's my 25-point marketing plan.
Right.
Same thing from each agent to the next. And I love this because this is a way to stand out. This is a way for agents to be able to offer something that most agents can't. And if you're not the one creating the Bob Tompkins videos or Brad McCallum videos that are just amazing, because that would be my lead if I had it, this is a great idea. I love it. And I think it's something that gets overlooked by a lot of agents.
The other cool thing about KeyBoom, and there's inside Listing Booster, there's training video section, there's a whole section or a whole video on KeyBoom and understanding KeyBoom. There's a lot of different ways you could take advantage of this. you can actually brand the channel to you. You could brand it to your team. You could brand it to your office. We've got real estate offices. There's one in Dixon I know of, close to me. They've got a huge TV, like a 80-incher, right? They are on a, their office is on a street front, right? Kind of, it's downtown where everybody's walking, right? And their office is there. They got this huge window right on the walkway downtown where everybody walks. It's cute downtown down there. They put this big 80-inch TV in the window. So when people are walking by, what winds up happening on Keyboom is they branded it to themselves. So it's all branded to them. And what's cool is when you just let Keyboom sit, like if you search Dixon, California, which is where they are, and you just let it sit for a couple of minutes, it goes into a screensaver mode. And it starts showing every property, right, in Dixon, you know, on this TV, just kind of flying by, bedrooms, baths, sales price, images, and then, you know, text this to that to get information, but it's all branded to that particular office. So if anybody did happen to stop and see that, they go, oh crap, I could text this to that, and, you know, they might get a lead off it. But at minimum, it's just cool because it's, you know, this awesome thing in their window. Another thing that office have done is, since it is connected to iHeartRadio, is if you've got a lobby where people might be waiting in your office, you set up a Roku TV in there, get Keyboom on, brand it to yourself, right? Connect to the iHeartRadio, or, you know, pick whatever iHeartRadio station you feel best suits your lobby. And it's not only providing the lobby music for your lobby, but it's displaying all the listings in town branded to you while they're sitting in your lobby, maybe waiting for somebody or something like that. There's that. Another way that it gets used is, me and my wife used to do this when we could do open houses, is I have my own 32-inch Roku TV. Of course, I have it branded to me and my wife. When we would sit in open house, we would put it on the kitchen table. We would connect to the seller's Wi-Fi. We would have music playing, and it's just showing listings going by on the kitchen table branded to us. And when potential buyers would walk in, sometimes we were able to stop them, or they would often say, wow, what is this? You know, and then we say, oh yeah, it's property search channel. And then we could search for listings right in the kitchen, you know what I mean, from the TV, if they're looking at other homes or whatever. So, and there's other ways to use it as well. So, I mean, that's, you know, Keyboom. I wanted to make sure everybody knew that it's out there. It's awesome. It's growing. We add about 1,500 to 2,000 new consumer downloads per month on Roku alone, let alone Amazon or Apple. I'm not sure what those stats are. So it's growing, you know, dramatically. But the main thing is, for me with Keyboom, is the listing presentation, right? I'm in my listing presentation, you know, I'm pulling out all my guns, you know, all my bullets, you know, having this bullet is just a nice thing to have, you know, so it'd be a nice thing to have for your office, for your team, you know what I mean, or for you as an individual, I think.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to touch base on is we talked a little bit about, and I'll get to the mobile app, but and the buyer presentations, but I want to talk about this whole Zillow thing. Okay. So what we've done in Listing Booster is when you get a listing, and, you know, I'll log in just so you can kind of see how it looks. I'm not going to be doing a technical demo. I don't want to bore anybody with that. But, you know, I'll log in, you know, and I'll go to my listings. And I have an old listing here that doesn't exist anymore, but I let it stick around just for demo purposes. It's right here. This is kind of where everything functions. This is the nervous center of the marketing for your listings. You know, your listings all show up here. And there's this thing called marketing tools. And then there's this thing called Zillow Boost download. And so you would go through that, and there's a training video on it. But basically, essentially what winds up happening, and I'll let me see, I think I brought one up. It's up here somewhere. So, okay, so let me just kind of blow this up. So essentially, if you're not aware of this, and this is nothing new. I mean, agents have been doing some form of this for a long time. But if you're not aware, when you have a listing, and if it's on Zillow, you are entitled to your free Zillow account as an agent, right? I'm not talking about Premier where you're buying leads, just you get a Zillow account. You, of course, you know, they figure out who you are, and then your listings get tagged to you. And Zillow gives you the ability, as the owner of that listing, on your private Zillow account, your personal Zillow account, to log in and edit your listing. And so essentially what winds up happening is when you do the Zillow Boost in Listing Booster, it's going to download a bunch of photos for you. You log into your Zillow account, edit your listing, you deactivate the feed photos. These are the photos that are coming from your MLS. You deactivate them, and there's a spot where you can upload your own. So you click that button, then you go and highlight all the photos that Listing Booster downloaded for you. You highlight them all and hit upload. It takes total time, maybe 35 seconds, something like that. And it uploads all new pictures, right? And these pictures are what's going to be seen by the consumers who go to Zillow. The very first picture now that gets uploaded has a text code on it. So it says toward instantly on your mobile device, text this to that. It's the very first picture that they'll see on your listing on Zillow right now. The other thing that we do is we teach you and give you the ability to, let me see if I can scooch back just a little bit, or is it forward? Okay, so as you can see in the text, this was my listing. This is a listing, that very listing that you saw on my Listing Booster dashboard. So it says here the same thing, text this to that for a virtual walkthrough, or paste this into your browser, okay, to go to the property website. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why in the world would somebody who's on Zillow, looking at the house on Zillow, text or copy and paste? And I'm going to tell you, I have no idea why someone would do it. But all I'm going to tell you is that they do it. I'll show you. So this is White Oak, right? If think we can see it here, 400 White Oak Lane. This is my actual listing. When Zillow Boost came out, right, when we first kind of rolled it out, I immediately did my Zillow Boost on it. And I'm going to go to the web leads. This is, again, remember, me and my wife are not setting the world on fire. So this is the leads that I generated off of White Oak. My listing was on the MLS for about 30 days because, well, it was a family member who wanted way too much. And of course we said, sure, list it at that. Okay. And then we had to do 2 price reductions before we sold it. The good news is it got to stay on the market for 30 days and I got all kinds of leads out of it. But as you can see, this says White Oak Lane, right? Winners. And also, as you can see, this is after I did Zillow Boost. Look at what I'm getting here. I'm getting name, email, phone number, name, email, phone number, all this stuff kicked in after I Zillow boosted it. Now on this page, there's 20 listings and you're going to get some duds, right? People are going to lie, you're going to get emails of upyours.com or whatever, you know what I mean? You're going to get that, but look how many people gave me their real stuff. I mean, a lot of them gave me their real stuff. I'm still working with 2 people from this one listing that came from Listing Booster. They're buyers, but and that's been brutal. But anyway, that's 20 leads. If we go down here, now this is prior to Zillow Boost. So we're still generating leads, name and email, right? Some phone numbers. But this is another 20. These are all on White Oak, right? Same property. So that's 40 leads. Here's the third page, all White Oak. Names and emails, some phone numbers, all White Oak, all that listing, 60 leads. Page 4, I got 2, I think, 2 of them there. So 62 leads that I was able to bypass Zillow, you know what I mean, Realtor.com. I was able to take my listing, give it a little bit of a boost on how we teach you to do it. And there's other things involved, posting to Facebook. We do it a particular way. We teach you how to do everything, or your assistant. But I was able to generate, 62 leads, of which I'm working with some people right now, right? Literally 2 buyers right now I'm working with. One is in contract and it's about to fall out because they're having a piss and match over some repairs. But still, I'm going to sell them a house. I'm going to sell the other people a house. All that came from this one listing. I didn't have to buy this lead from Zillow, or Realtor.com. You know what I mean? It's off of my listing. I just took the time to use the tool and post it a few places. It's very simple to do. And, those are the results, so Zillow Boost, I think, is a really cool feature. Any thoughts on that, Jeff?
That's phenomenal. And in this day and age where Zillow is changing the game, anything that we can do to bypass them, let's stick it to them. Yeah.
And the other thing, we do get people saying, well, wait a minute, my MLS says I can't put that contact information in the property description. I can't do that. Yeah, you're not doing it in your MLS. You leave your MLS alone. What you're doing is you're going to Zillow and editing your listing on the Zillow platform. It has nothing to do with your MLS, right? Initially, Zillow brings all that stuff in from your MLS, but now you're going into your account on Zillow on their platform, not in your MLS, on their platform, and changing the description there. That change in that property description only resides on the Zillow platform, not in your MLS. So the reason MLSs worry about that is because, they provide IDX feeds to all these other agents out there, and they don't want my listing, to say, hey, call me directly in the description that's on somebody else's IDX website. I totally get it. It doesn't do that. It doesn't circumvent that. When you're editing on Zillow, you're just editing the Zillow platform, not messing with what's going on in your MLS, if that makes sense.
It's powerful, man. I mean,
Yeah.
just the leads in and of itself. I mean, listen, right now, you said it, Frank, like, oh, buyers, there's no inventory, right? But that's going to change. It's going to cycle. It's always going to cycle. And so being able to drive those leads and then taking those leads and potentially putting them in another CRM or another platform where you can retarget them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's powerful.
And, come on, I mean, somebody's going to buy the listing.
Mm-hmm.
I am working with 2 buyers right now. I've showed countless properties. We all know how it is. Countless. You know what I mean? I've written multiple offers. I've got this one couple, I've got them in contract for the 2nd time, and it may die again. But, at some point, I'm going to get these 2 into a contract, and I'm going to make the money. That's what I do. And again, I'm not I'm a part-time guy. I'm not, a listing machine or anything like that. You know what I mean? I'm not even trying to be, but
selling yourself short, Frank. You're a man of many trades and talents. We do have a question from Mr. Anonymous Attendee. That's a really cool name. Does it just send you a copy of the lead, meaning others are potentially buying the same lead from Zillow, or do you get the lead to yourself?
No, you get the lead yourself. No one bought this lead. With Listing Booster, your listings come into your Listing Booster account, and then through our training, we teach you how to post your listing into various places and where to post them. We teach you how to do it. Those leads they're not purchased by anybody. It's a self-generated lead straight back to you. In other words, you took your listing, you shared it somewhere, somebody clicked on it to see it, and you captured their name and their phone number and their email. Because when they click to see your listing, we stop them. We have built-in lead capture. We stop them and we say, if you really want to see it, give me your name, your phone number, and your email. And if they go to that step, if they say, sure, I really want to see it, and they give you their name and phone number and email, you're going to wind up getting fewer leads, but you're going to wind up getting better leads, because these are people that are willing to give you that information, which means they really want to see it. They want to see what's going on. Yeah. So I hope that answered the question. You're not buying any leads from Listing Booster.
I think more,
not sell leads.
I think more than anything, they just wanted to know that a plethora of other potential agents, maybe the 3 agents or the agent who's spending the most on that zip code, are you essentially fighting them, or you're in this case you're getting it yourself?
You're getting it yourself. Yeah. It has nothing to do with those other agents. There's not sold to anybody. It just goes straight to you.
This is the bypass of Zillow, essentially. It's using Zillow to your advantage, but bypassing.
Yeah, and it's using your listings to your advantage. Yeah. I mean, come on. Zillow takes listings and makes $1 gajillion off the leads they generated off of your listing. Why not use your listing, generate your own leads, and get the benefit of working those leads?
Let's
be honest, Jeff, real quick. I hate to interrupt you, but
yeah, go ahead.
Be honest. I mean, somebody stumbles across your listing, that you posted on LinkedIn or Facebook or Craigslist or whatever from Listing Booster, and they like that house. And let's say, well, I got to sell my house to buy. You could potentially get a listing too. I mean, it's a first generation, unstepped on, only to you inquiry on your list, on your personal listing. That's what it is.
And could you've been key to point out that it's on your listing. Could you do this on a colleague's listing? Could you do this for someone else's listing?
You could do that. And the way that you do that is you have what's called buyer presentations. So let's say you don't have any listings, but you can still market other agents' listings the way that we teach you how to do it to generate those leads. You could even, if you've got a listing agent who goes, yeah, do whatever you want, I don't care about that Zillow Boost thing, or do whatever you want with my listings. You could even Zillow Boost them on my Zillow. Well, you could even Zillow Boost another agent's listing if that agent allows you to use their credentials to log in. But when you Zillow Boost it on Zillow, when you do it, the text code and the links and all that are tied to you. So you'll get the leads off of that other agent's listing off of Zillow. Did that make sense? Kind of hard to explain, but you can do that. So here's buyer presentations. This is what you would do. You click on buyer presentation, you would hit create, right? A buyer presentation, and you just simply put in the MLS number of the listing that you want to do the presentation for. Okay, I won't bother going through that process. It's going to generate one of these things, right? It generates, this is kind of common, right? It generates one of these cool landing pages. But the thing is that we have built-in lead capture. I'm not showing you the lead capture now so that you can see this page, right? But when you share it, I'll show you how you share it. when you share this, right, you know, so you can share it to Facebook right here. You can do it another way. It's just, you know, it has the photos, you know, of the listing, right? All that kind of stuff, the property details, you know, nearby places, you know, the flyers that, you know, a lot of products have, that kind of a thing. And of course, you know, if you want to get information, contact this agent. Well, this is not our listing. This is another agent's listing, right? But it comes to me. So the way that you would take advantage of somebody else's listing and marketing it is you would do something like share this listing. Remember, this is not my listing. This is another agent's that I brought in using the MLS number. I hit share it. I'll share it to, we'll say LinkedIn, you know, and it brings this up. You say share in a post. Great starter home in Vacaville. Right, check it out, and I post it. I mean, that's it. I did it. We teach you how to do that in Facebook and other places, and you know, and you saw the leads on my listing. You know, it's like when you learn how to post these things into Facebook community groups and you know whatnot, and do the Zillow boost. It's really no problem generating the lead. I mean, it's easy. After that, you got to call the lead. You got to pound the lead. You know, it's like anything else. You know, but yeah, that's what you can do. So you can absolutely, you know, make use of the other listings. Now, this is really great for teams, Jeff, for offices, right? You got some agents who are newer maybe in the business. They don't necessarily have the listings, but there's other agents who do, who are perfectly willing. Yeah, hell yeah, sell my house. Go for it. Market my listing. And this allows those agents that don't have listings to take advantage of their own office listings or their own team listings. And this is important because by taking advantage of your own office listings, your own team listings, you're keeping that money in your office ecosystem or in your team ecosystems. Like even if I share a coworker's listing and I generate a lead off of it, and that's a buyer lead, and I'm working with that buyer and I sell that buyer a house that's not listed by my team, but that money still comes into my team from the sale of that other house. You see what I mean? So it helps keep money in your own office or team ecosystem by, you know, helping to sell your own listings in your office and your team. It works out really good.
Love it.
Hope that made sense.
Love it.
Yeah. The video walkthrough is also really cool. Let me log out here. So, and this was created, of course, for COVID, because doing open houses and things like that is kind of difficult these days, or not so easy. So right here on the homepage, we talk about it a little bit, but essentially what it is you can use your smartphone, your Apple or your Android. It's a mobile app. It's in the stores. It's in the App Store, or the Google Play Android store, right? You just go there, search Listing Booster. It's free, of course. You log in with your Listing Booster credentials, and you'll see all your listings there. And it's very intuitive, easy to use. But you basically click a button, and you can start recording a video walkthrough. And inside Listing Booster, we've got some training on, you know, some tips on how to make them really cool. Now, here's the thing, like recording a video on your smartphone, although it's going to come out really bitchin', they do, trust me. Yeah, this might not be right for your, you know, $4 million house with, you know, gold flake banisters and marble everywhere.
Hire a damn videographer.
Yeah, you know, it might not be right for that one. But for your cookie cutter, you know, SFR, single family home, you know, and residential, you know, everyday home, it's awesome. It's just so cool. The feedback we've gotten from not only the agents on using it, but the consumers is they love these because it's so honest. No, consumers aren't stupid. They know when it's the virtual tour of the moving pictures that are all beautiful and doctored up, they're maybe not necessarily getting the real representation. But when you're walking through talking about it with your phone and showing the bedrooms and the backyard and, the front yard and the kitchen and all that stuff, and how, just kind of narrating it as you go through, it's really awesome. This is an example one. Now, of course, this says Listing Booster, right? This, for you, it's going to have your logo here, right? This is the Listing Booster example. This is one that the developer of Listing Booster made on a house that he owns. And I'll push the play button here, and I'll try to bring the volume down. I don't want that there. So, and then again, see how this background image says listing booster open house, and it says listing booster up here. That is not going to be you from the mobile app. Upload your logos, pick your backgrounds. In fact, when you pick your background for this first slide image, you can even type in what city you're in, and it'll show images from your city, like that you could possibly use. Like for you, cool. Jeff, you're out in, aren't you in St. Louis?
Yep.
Yeah, so you got that arch thing.
Yeah, yep, that arch thing. That's right.
That would show up, you know, in the pictures. You can put that as your background or whatever you want. So, so I want you to understand, it's all branded to you. You know, this is all branded to you. But as I push play, you can see Kevin walked through here, and using his smartphone and just a little wide-angle lens that he attached. He's doing a narration. You can't hear him right now because I don't want to disrupt what we're doing. But you can see this video walkthrough. It's branded to you. It's all branded to you. And he basically walks through the whole house, right? He buzzes through the whole place and just does a little narration of everything. You get up to 6 minutes to do it. So it's pretty damn bitchin', okay? It's really, really cool. There's also the dedicated property website here. So in your video, you could even say, well, on the landing page, there's a link to the dedicated property website. If you want to have this sent to your smartphone, feel free to do that. And if if they do click on that, it's going to bring them to the dedicated property website, but it's going to say, oh, really? You want to see this for reals? Then, you're going to have to give us your name and your email and your phone number and all that stuff. It'll stop them with lead capture built in. But this is where it brings them, is to the dedicated property website. Now, with respect to these virtual tours, as all the agents know, you got a lot of MLSs are going to require, quote unquote, a unbranded or non-branded virtual tour link that you can put in the MLS, and other platforms may require that, but some may allow branded. So this would be an example of a branded landing page. If I go here into Listing Booster and log in again, I'll show you where you find those links. It's very simple. Once the video is done, when you go to your listings, this is your links. There's your video walkthrough. Here's
already done
link
for you.
Yeah, here's your unbranded link. So they're there. You just click on it, copy the link out of the browser, and put it into your MLS, or put it wherever you want to put it. So yeah, that's the video walkthrough. It's pretty cool. Another really fun, quick one that I think is kind of a unique feature that not a lot of other products have is, the good old Instagram photos. With Listing Booster, all you do is you just click on your listing, and you click on marketing tools, right? And then you click on Instagram photos right here. And this is an example of what they look like. So, just listed, and there's a text code, okay? And you can see we instantly create just listed, won't last, must see, check it out, text for photos and video, open house. And you can, in our flyer system, you can set the open house dates, and it'll display properly on these photos. Price reduced, pending sale, back on market, video walkthrough, sold. And so what winds up happening is we create all these, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them get created instantly. And then what you do is you just click this mobile phone icon, put in your smartphone number and hit send, and then it shoots it straight to your phone. So it's a text on your phone, and it says on the text, Instagram photos for 123 Main Street. And you open it up, and all 11 of those, they're 11 links, but they say what they are, just listed, back on market, sold, whatever. All you do is click it, right? It brings up the photo. Then you just hit the share button like you normally would share something to Instagram, a photo. Pick Instagram. You could type in there, hey, text this to that for a property tour, and hit go, and you're done. And then as the property's living its life, you can constantly just go back. I think I'll do another Instagram photo on it today. Maybe a few days later, do another one. When it goes pending, do another one. Do the pending one. Hey, this one pending. Let me know if you need any help selling your home. Push it off to Instagram. So it's kind of nice to be able to, have some photos created, right away for you, as far as Instagram is concerned, that sort of thing. And just real simply, and I'll wrap this up and answer any questions and tell you how you can participate with this. If you're going to, the way that we teach you is on my training is I'll teach you on every new listing that you get, or if you're brand new to Listing Booster and you bring in, say, 3 or 4, you've got 3 or 4 listings and they all come in for the first time. what I teach you is there's like 8 things you do on a brand new listing, or if it's a listing for the first time, right? 8 things you do. To do those 8 things will take about 15 minutes, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, but it's a pretty powerful 8 things that you do. And then after you've done that initial boosting of your listing, which includes Zillow Boost and Facebook and, Craigslist and LinkedIn and Instagram, when you've done your first initial boost, then what we teach you is you go into like a weekly maintenance mode. So every week, what you're going to do is you're going to continue to repost your listing out of Listing Booster, by doing something like this: share my listing, let's go to Facebook. You're going to be reposting just a few times a week into, primarily into Facebook community groups. But to post into a Facebook community group, might take you all of about 30 seconds. I mean, if we started the clock here, check out the awesome
chicken coop, huh?
Oh, dude, this house had the coolest chicken coop you've ever seen. It was the coolest chicken coop. It was like a habit trail for chickens. Okay. And it was huge. Like they could travel all around to these little places. Stuff. I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. But you do that, then we're going to teach you on the training, or your teacher assistants, is how to, what community groups to join, how to find them, how to join them. And then you'd wind up posting into community groups. Like,
wow.
For example, 707 Home Hunt. That's a local community group for us in our area. 26,000 members in that group. Right? Primarily all buyers, potential buyers, people looking at houses. So I would do that. I would simply hit post. Oops, down here, hit post, and I'm done. I mean, so I might do that in 2 other groups. We teach you guys how to find the groups, how to join them. And you really want to have under your belt on Facebook about 30 or so community groups, not just in your area, but in surrounding areas. I teach you to go out about 50 to 80 miles of a radius and find community groups in there. And what type of community groups? Home sales community groups, home listing community groups, buy, sell, trade community groups. There's tons of them in all the areas around you. Why go in a bigger radius? Because when people move, statistically, I believe it's about 88%, Jeff, 88% of the people who move, right, move to another home, whether they're selling or renting, it doesn't matter. 88% of the people who move to a home that's within about 50 miles of the home that they currently live in. So, we teach you guys how to be a little strategic with that as well. Like, I'm in the Bay Area. A lot of people move from the San Francisco area to rural Vacaville. So I post Vacaville listings in San Francisco, Berkeley, Oakland, Contra Costa County, those outlying expensive areas. I post my Vacaville listings out there saying, maybe you should move to Vacaville. Check out these prices, right? And then I post out there and people click it. Like, maybe I should move to Vacaville. Because a lot of people move to our area from the more expensive areas. So whatever area you're in, think about that as well. I mean, it might not apply to your area, but it does. We've had Listing Booster users who, they're in Arizona, right? Phoenix, Arizona. You know how many people move out of the Bay Area, California to Phoenix, Arizona?
I imagine.
Gajillions. You know what I mean? So we're like, yeah, go join a San Francisco real estate group and title it up here where I said, check out about the awesome chick group. Say, considering moving to Phoenix? Check this one out, right? You capture that lead, you get that person on the phone, right? Now you've got a guy who's planning on moving to Phoenix, talking to you. You can start showing them properties.
Yeah.
The other tricky thing that we teach in here that's really fun to do is, like, if you get a property with acreage, you can have horses on it. You know how many equestrian groups there are on Facebook in your area and surrounding areas? Tons.
Yeah.
So you join some equestrian groups. Say, hey, don't offend the admin, but this horse property came up. It's priced well. Just wanted to drop it here. Don't worry, I won't abuse this. If you're interested, take a look, right? I've done that before several times. And
Love it, man. I mean, that makes it so damn easy.
It is easy. To do it is easy. And again, I think what we're doing here is and there's a lot of other features in here. So, I mean, this is basically what Listing Booster does. Why would you use it? Well, number one, take advantage of Keyboom on your listing presentations. Have the ability to say, hey, list with me, I'll get your home on TV. Not only you, but your whole office or your team. That would be really good for an office or a team as well. Take advantage of the Zillow Boost. I mean, you take advantage of Zillow eyeballs with built-in or with Listing Booster lead capture on their listing, on their heavily eyeball driven platform, you're going to generate great leads off that. Those Zillow leads turn out to be pretty good too. You can usually talk to them and get something going with them. That mobile app Walk-Thru is really cool. Super nice. The Instagram stuff's really nice. Going through our training so you really know, or your assistants know, how to really get the most out of this. Why not generate multiple first generation leads off the listing that you worked hard for, instead of letting other agents reap the leads off your listings, right? Get them yourself.
Yeah.
It just takes a little bit of effort. Not a lot at all. And you saw my results, 62 leads on one listing,
I love it. I love it. So let's get them some details, man. How does it work? What does it cost?
So what we've got here is I'll put this in the chat, right? So what we got here is I'm going to give you guys this link, and you would just click on here, put in your contact info, and then put in the code. Here, let me stop this. You could certainly go to listingbooster.com. Okay, you can certainly do that and get started there, but you would want to make sure you say it with LCA. LCA. You have to do that because there's a discount. So Listing Booster for an individual. And can I drop this in the chat? I think I can.
Yeah, do. Please do.
I want to say to everyone. Can I say to everyone?
Yep.
All panelists and attendees. So here's a link for you. If you do that, I'm dropping that in there, and then I'm going to say discount code. And it's all caps, LCA. Okay, all caps, LCA. So for an individual account, Listing Booster costs $197 a month. Okay. With the LCA discount, it's $137.
Nice.
Now, if you want to do an office thing or a team thing, there's other ways to participate with it. If a team or an office wanted to get it for all of their agents, but wanted their agents to train themselves or train their assistants on how to use it, where you're actually doing the work in Listing Booster, for $1,970, which will turn into $1,370 with the LCA code, an office can equip up to 100 of their agents with it.
Wow.
So 100 of your agents. So if you've got an office that's got 100 agents or 150 agents, $1,900 or $1,370, they all get the product, but they would have to all get trained, on how to use it. It's really easy. You just register for the training every Tuesday.
Yeah, but if you're a team leader, a broker, or you work for a brokerage, take this to them, because you get them to do the enterprise account essentially.
Yeah.
Then maybe they're splitting up the bill, and it's costing you a fraction of what it would cost if you got it on your own.
It becomes really, really cheap. It comes to $13.70 a month if there was 100 who all gave their portion, right? So, but the other way that you can participate with it is there is a no-cost way to do it. Of course, a lot of products have this. Where a loan company would be involved. But the nice thing about that is, and it's really, we're looking for teams for that, not so much individuals, but teams. The nice thing about that is we do all the work. We do all the posting. We do the Zillow boosting for you. We control it all. We just do it all. We generate all the leads for you. And then we have VAs, right? Assistants following up on all the leads and converting those into appointments and getting them back to you. That would, however, you would have a lender tagged to you or as part of that. So in some of the marketing materials, that lender information would be there. And I'm sure those lenders would be like knocking on your door saying, "Hi, we're the guys helping you out with Listing Booster. Sure would love to do business with you." So, I mean, and why not, right? They're providing that kind of a service. But that's where we literally do it all. And that's at no cost. No cost.
So did you hear that, realtors? Bring this to your lenders, go get the replay of this either on our YouTube page or on LabCoatAgents Facebook group, and share this with your lenders and tell them what you're thinking about doing. I mean, all these features, if it drives you more business, in theory, it should drive them more business as long as you're a good referral source. And
well, they're going to get those leads too, right? Yeah. So when those leads come in, they're going to call them and say, "Hey, can I give you a loan?" Right? They're going to get that too. So anyway, I mean, that's it. I went 50 minutes. I went longer than I thought I would.
It's all right, buddy. It's all right. Let me repeat. The link is in the chat. I will add it to the Facebook message or the Facebook video as well. I will add it in the chat there with the discount code. Make sure you use that discount code if you want to save yourself money. If you don't want to save money, well, then don't put the discount code in. That's up to you. But Frank, any closing remarks? No,
I don't know if you guys are familiar with me and Brian and the National Real Estate Post, but we've been doing a video podcast, for lack of a better word, or video blog for 13 years. We do it literally every business day. Very few days missed in the past 13 years where we talk about the real estate industry and the lending industry and what's going on. And we have a lot of fun with it. We kick people in the balls, politicians and, and things like that. And we just kind of shoot them. We call it like we see it. That's what we do. We don't. And if you're not familiar with that, I'd love you to tune into that. It's just the nationalrealestatepost.com, the nationalrealestatepost.com. And you can subscribe to us via email there, or you could just get our mobile app where you'll get notified every day that a new show is there. And they're fun shows, extremely informative. They're
short. They're all very short.
Yeah, they're very short and they're really informative. So when you're actually having conversations with people, like one of the buyers I got from my listing that I'm working right now, she's like, but what about the market? Tell me what your thoughts are on the market. Well, I eat and breathe this stuff every day. So I easily can just go back, here's what I think about the market. But for you guys, it's like, if you watched us every day, you'd have something to say, you'd have an intelligent, thing to say, according to this and according to that, this is what's being projected, and and I'm sure a lot of you already know all that stuff. And I'm not saying you're not intelligent, but if you're not always up to speed on what's really going on in the industry because you're focused on just doing your job, it's kind of nice to take in a 5-minute show every morning just to get filled in on what's kind of going on out there, how it might impact you and impact your consumers.
I highly recommend it. And this is a personal testimonial. I don't check it every day, but I go in at least once a week just to kind of see what I missed and see what headlines grab my attention. Or if I'm searching for content to regurgitate on my own from my own mouth, I'll a lot of times when it's business related content, I go to NAREP and go dig around. Yeah. And there's always stuff there. So
yeah. And so, I mean, that's it. Unless there's any other questions, I'm good to go. Awesome.
Make sure you grab this link. And again, I'll put it in the Facebook post as well. And thank you guys for being on today, Frank, as always. And don't forget, we also do a bi-weekly show with the National Real Estate Post every other Monday. The last one was this Monday. So we'll be on in 2 weeks where we talk about exactly what Frank just mentioned, is what the hell's going on in the industry. So awesome. Frank, thank you so much. And look forward to doing this again.
My pleasure. You guys have any questions about this thing and how it can help, just reach out to us. Let us know. We're happy to talk to you.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
All right. We'll see y'all later.